Hi, Rachel Carey with Emerging Lotus Coaching. Again, coming back to talk with you a little bit more about conflict. Last video I posted, we talked about the definition of conflict as it is today and the reaction that a lot of us have to conflict. We also talked about a what if we redefine conflict as an opportunity, what that might do to the way that we enter into conflict. Changing our perspective, opening ourselves up to opportunity is a way to drive through some of those yuck feelings. When I say yuck feelings, I am oversimplifying some complexity that comes in human relationships. When I entered into human resources right out of college, which was a few more years ago than I'd like to admit, I found a world of corporate America where we smushed emotions to the corners. Emotion did not have its place in the workplace. That message repeated itself over and over again through my career, leading up even as I was becoming a coach. I sat through a presentation of executives that were talking about how they were leading the next generation. And one talked about how in the midst of this meeting, this one executive had barreled down with anger and the new employee had broken out into tears, and they took the new employee aside and they're like, we do not cry. We do not cry in the workplace. And I remember thinking, wow, to feel emotion is human. The anger that the one executive felt was an emotion. The tears and sadness and whatever other emotion that that individual employee was feeling in response to the anger, that was an emotion too. We can try our best to push the humanity out of the humans in the workplace, but really, we just have robots. Robots do what we program them to do. But there's no innovation there. And in this world that we are entering in now, technology changes everything on a daily. I think I'm usually pretty good with technology, but in the last few years, I have gone, oh Nelly, all of the different options that exist of cloud-based storage, how to navigate that, right? So things change all of the time. I'm probably dating myself and I'm dating this video, and that's okay. We're gonna roll with it anyway. The point is though that humans have emotions. In your workplace, they're gonna have emotions. And the thing that is really powerful is when we can identify what those emotions are telling us. What are those emotions telling them? And what are those emotions telling us about them? Emotions I like to look at as little messengers. In my last video, I talked about the concept of emotions being an opportunity to review our internal messengers notification system. Our internal messengers notification system is our emotions. Our emotions are energy in motion, moving through our body, giving us cues of whoop, that was out of alignment for us. Out of alignment is a big coachy term. I've heard it in other places, but I know that it is very prevalent in the coach world. And what it means is I have this set of values, and this thing, it's going against my values. Emotions are a cue. Emotions tell us, whoop, that went against my value. So in the workplace, when I have clients, for example, they're talking about showing up in the boardroom and they're doing a presentation and they get hypercritical, negative criticism on something, they'll freeze because they're in conflict now. They're in conflict because the way that was presented for them wasn't felt as respectful, and being respectful and showing compassion is something that has been very valuable to a number of our clients. So when they receive that kind of criticism publicly and harshly, it they enter conflict, they enter a stress response. So stress response is fight, flight, or freeze. There's a few others, but typically in the workplace, you're going to see fight, flight, or freeze. They're going to fight you, they're going to run away from you and ignore it, or they're going to freeze and not know what to do. I was a freezer. I froze a lot. Like, it'll take me 5 minutes to continue processing what just happened there and what am I feeling and how am I feeling, and then come back to it. I've got a number of clients that are that way too. Maybe you felt that way too. Like, you leave and you're like, I should have said this, that, and the other. Emotions are just our messengers to say, whoop, pay attention. One of the ways that I developed a keen awareness to what my emotion messenger system was saying was I started beginning a practice of mindfulness to build my own awareness of kind of what was happening inside. There are a million other ways for people to build awareness of what they're doing, saying. There's a lot of tools that I bring to the table with my clients to help them in navigating that. Mindfulness is my favorite because it builds an awareness and helps us connect inside. And when we build that awareness, we begin to listen differently to other people, and we start noticing there's an emotion behind that. There's a why behind that. What are the cues that help me understand? And on my last performance review received as an HR person, before I decided I was leaping out into coaching full-time, the owner of the organization said to me, "You have a keen listening skill. Did you develop that, or is that innate?" It is innate in all of us as a potential, but we've learned to drive through it. What I'm listening to now is the emotion in the words that you're saying and the why that might be behind it. I teach my clients to do that also because I think that it's important for a coach, but it's even more important as a leader of a team, or even a leader not of a team, where you're navigating and supporting different people within the organization. Having that keen awareness of what's being said between the lines, man, that's the difference between somebody just doing and someone leading powerfully. So if we tune in to our internal messenger system and we start learning the cues of other people's internal messenger system, we notice the way that the emotions are moving, we can pick up a lot of cues. In my next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different kind of spectrum of the energy in emotions and how to start kind of pinpointing where they're coming from, where they're landing, and what you need to do as a leader to shift them. See you in the next video.